All right, all you devils out there, happy Friday. Well, here we go. We've got Bitcoin up here. We're gonna look at Bitcoin and ETH very briefly. They haven't moved much. A couple alts that have some potential, look like they're setting up nicely. It's certainly a risk-on day. We've got the stock indexes are just on a tear. 34, 35 new all-time highs for the S&P today. Another one today. It's certainly risk-on. And now you're seeing a little bit. If you look at it here, if you know a little bit about how the options are moving the market, you have very much of a option-driven push to new highs today, right? The market makers, they have to hedge, right? So they're selling 0DT options to retail and traders, and no, not always just retail, but it means they have to buy futures. So buy. It's a vicious cycle, right? It just keeps repeating, drives prices as you're seeing it today. Okay, right. So why not Bitcoin? Well, I don't know that I have a great answer there. It just seems to be time is what we need. And this is perfectly honest. It's a little disappointing, right, that we aren't getting some risk on here in crypto. Now we are getting it in some of the alts, but we're certainly not getting in the majors. As Bitcoin just sits here, putting us to sleep. Now it's hard to look at this chart and not recognize the potential of where we are. Oh, here, let's see. Let's use this here. So we are sitting right here at the 50. So if I pull from this last swing low before we go up to the proposed wave 3 pivot high, well, there's a 50 within a tick or two. Now, if we're pulling from the 2, and there's some people prefer to make this 1, 2, right, so we get a cleaner 3. They're within ticks of each other. So whether it's here we're pulling or whether we're pulling from here, well, the 50 in the golden zone, pardon me, the 23 and the 38, which is where we would be looking for the 4, well, we split the middle of it. Now, if we're going to roll over again, we've got the golden zone down here relative to this pivot, which is, I only highlight that because algo doesn't care about your Elliott count, right? So this would be an area where you're likely to see the algo fire. Doesn't mean it can't break, but that's where you're likely to see some support. And then note here, it's right at this pivot high. So, and the 38 is literally splitting the golden zone. So there's support down here. Now that'd be a little bit of a shock to the market. You'd be breaking 50 just briefly. So my guess would be, if I had to guess, right, we would do something like this. We'd come out of there pretty aggressively. Then you got an algo driving, and we just tuck in behind. Now we don't have that yet, so we're just kind of looking here. Now, I don't know that if we start to bring this down here, does it deviate terribly? Well, this would be a little overthrow. Maybe you've got a 4 or 5 down here. This isn't a great, if you look at it on a smaller time frame. Do I have it over here? Oh, yeah, I do. It'd be generous to call this maybe a diag. Those aren't what am I on a 4 hour here? You need to go to a 1 hour. The ABC is it really there, right? A diag needs to be a series of 3s, maybe. It's not enough to be entering, in my view, not enough to be entering the market based off of this. Oh, 1, 2. Oh, there's a diag. It's another 1. Now, could be, but let's get out of the hole here. Let's get up here and sweep some of this. This is clearly just liquidity grab. That you know when you see it up. Right now, so we need to get something here to start kicking. So something like this might be enough to say, okay, because we're looking for an impulse here. Can we get something like that going in the 3? Right? That's not enough for me to be overly enthusiastic about it, but it's a start, maybe. Again, that's you would anticipate better reaction than there. So I don't think you need to be in a hurry to be adding here. Now I say that, right? Of course, by Monday would be up here, but you got to use your best judgment there. I mean, that's on a 60. For long-term swing trading, I don't really like to go below that unless I'm trying to dig out a count. You can take it down to a small enough time frame, you'll see what you want to see. So you got to be careful about that. Even as is, I mean, maybe another way to look at this, maybe we put the 3 here, 4 here. So this, you get a better ABC, but then is that really an ABC? You got an impulse here. You got a zigzag, or pardon me. Well, yeah, you would have a zigzag there. So you got an ABC. Okay, maybe. Well, come on. Okay, so I've got an algo here that's fired. And I got a target up here. Okay, maybe. maybe I get a little more interested there. Well, then if we come up here and complete that, well, then I could pull back here and say, okay, now I've completed something. It's ugly, God, it's so ugly, but okay, it's a 5, maybe a 1. So give me a 3 back down, and okay, now, all right, interested. Until then, it would be pretty easy to just say we're in a range. I don't know if I can get this thing hot. Accumulation, right? That's generous interpretation. It does not appear to be distribution, right? Even though we know the data would suggest there's been a lot of offloading of Bitcoin. So with a positive read on that, right? We're not falling through the floor, but we're certainly not participating in the risk on today. And again, so much of that is option driven. But let's go over and take a peek at ETH. It's not much different, right? Let's go to the daily here. We've looked at the weekly, right? It's pretty obvious what we've got there. Here, okay, are we done? For the 4, some A, B, C, or W. Well, fuck it, it almost doesn't matter. W, X, Y into the 4, right to the 38. Why would you be bearish? You'd be hard pressed to be bearish there, right? It just speaking technically, you're selling that? I think not, right? This, if anything, this is an area of accumulation. I don't know that I could script it I couldn't fake it in Photoshop any better than that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty good target up here. Of the 2, ETH looks stronger to me. Right? If I had to pick one or the other right now, I'd go with ETH. For an additional add, we would long term. We've looked at this a couple of times, right? Again, it's kind of the same idea. How are you? I'd be interested to hear the argument for getting bearish. All right. So with that said, let me pop over to a couple of alts that look interesting. It'll probably be a shorter one today. Of course, I say that. I'll go for an hour. Okay, so hang on a sec. Okay, a couple that have my interest and my attention here. Ripple, we'll come back to that here, but Cardano looks particularly good, right? So I've been accumulating. So let's put it this way. All right, so all of this seems like an accumulation zone. It's hard to argue against that. Okay, so we come down here. Here's, what have I got there? There's the 50% of that range. I am in log, so it distorts a little bit. But here, it wouldn't matter here, but I could do it this way. Here. Oh, there we go. All right, so we just tapped here of this range. We just tapped the edge of the discount. Now, okay, it could roll over again, but this is a reasonable spot to be starting to add up or add to. Let's see, are we done here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Oh, let's go to a 4, see if we get a better look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, here, I'll label it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5s and 3s, right? So we're looking for, okay, could we be done here? Well, yeah, we definitely could be done here. Now, let's get this. Oh, I guess we made the point there. Okay, well, let's assume, right, just for the sake of the conversation, that we've got a pivot in. Well, first we need to sweep the high here. This is the highest. We didn't quite get it, right? Did we get it? No, we got to sweep. Well, this would be an ideal spot here. So let me open this up. So if we're gonna 2, 1, 2, looks like that's 3, 3, 4, 5, still going. So right now, all I have is I have this and I have this here. Once I get that 3, now we'll adjust. We'll go to wherever we end up. But as it sits right now, that's what we have. We're coming right into where we have a fair value gap, an imbalance, but it's already been mitigated. So the next one up here would be the one that you'd be looking at. And you might look here and go, oh, why the resistance there? Well, let's pull, right, assuming that's a completed 5. Let's get our friend back here. Let's get just a golden zone on so we can see the resistance that's approaching. Right? So this 3 is, let's see what it looks like, right? Takes so little time to measure. So if we're going to get up here, so we've got another imbalance up here as we were just looking. That might be a reasonable spot. Now, of course, that's a big course, you can look at that and think, oh, okay, well, so if this is 1, 2, we're going to go 3, hit that resistance 4, and then get up to the 5. And then we'd be at that location where we can confidently project that we've got a 3. It's gone to the highest probability location. We've got an imbalance that it's correcting or rebalancing. Now, we don't have this yet, but this is what I'd be looking for, something like this, 3. So chance to buy it? Well, I don't like to buy at highs as we hit resistance. I'll let it, if it's going to do this, okay, sooner or later, if that's going to be the 3, 4 will come. If it's an impulse, right? You assume we're going to get a 5. So this is not something I would ever buy. It's a hard rule for me. I don't buy anything like that. I'll wait, let it break, and I'll take the retrace. But let's get the pivot first, right? First, it's got to break this. And then the golden zone that's sitting right there. But that's certainly one to have on your watch list. I'd be watching closely for how we do over the weekend here. Cardano. I will confess one of my larger holdings. Right? So I'm not trying to pimp my book, but oh, shit, what the hell is that? I don't know what that is. I think this is left over from when I do these live streams. A lot of times I get other people's TA bundle, whatever they've got on it. I don't know what that is. Okay, well, so there we go with Cardano, kind of watching for that first 5 to come off the low. The assumption is we've got a low here with a little front run off of the 50, and perhaps we're getting started. Long wait. Go back to the daily. It's been a long wait for this to come out of the hole down here. But okay, this is where it's hard to miss the potential accumulation here. Do we know that's accumulation? Well, I've got a completed impulse, and I'm got 5 followed by 3, went pretty deep, went down to the discount. Why, if you're a crypto bull, what are you waiting for? Not financial advice, just looking at the chart. What, you waiting for something better? I'd like to see it. Okay, let's go over to AAVE. Look kind of interesting here. Clearly, right? Algo very dominant here. We've got a completed 5. Looks like there's some sort of a combo going on here because this is 5-3 waterfall. Well, you'll note here we're trapped between 2 golden zones, right? It's very, very common. It's how the market moves, right? We know. I don't even have to say it. Although we do have new people, right? So that's why I continue to come back to it, right? If you don't know it, if you have to know where Al is at all times, right? Or you'll trade right into it. People do it every day, and they don't. Why? Oh, I don't understand why why didn't it go? Oh, it's going to fall through the floor. Here, look, it's perfect. Right? Oh, it's going to go. Oh, here we go. To sell it. Oh, great. Broke the low. The only someone who doesn't know it's there would do that. Right? It's amazing, right? But they don't, right? So actually, pardon me. This is, did we get a little, yeah, we did get a little overlap here. That's annoying. Oh, shit. You're going to call that something other than a 5? God, can we even do that as a diag? Oh, here a little Elliott shuffle might be what you'd need to do here. So you'd have to do A, B, C. Is that a fudge? Maybe. Is it going to affect the count? Even that, well, I guess I can get it right to it. So it's true double. I would not alter my account because of that, but then I'm not a purist. Okay, so looks like ABC, A, B, C into an X, A, B, C. Well, you don't have much choice there. Into a golden zone for the second tap on the golden. So where's the resistance, right? We know where that is, right? It's just like anything, right? If you simply must know where that is at all times, right? Again, as I've said this 1,000 times over the years, you're walking through a minefield with blindfolds on if you don't know where Al is. It's mandatory. I'm just trying to help you. I know it gets annoying to the people that have been following me and members who've been hearing me talk about this for 5 years. Right? I didn't discover it, but you have to know where it is, right? I didn't discover Elliott Wave either, right? It doesn't matter who discovered it. I'm just telling you right now, if you're trading without recognizing that, you're foolish, right? It's dumb. Don't be dumb. Why? How many times do I have to show it to you? 30, 40, 50,000 times? Sooner or later, you're going to pay attention. Okay, so I got those 2. That's 14 minutes. Oh, let's take a peek at Ripple. Oh, I'm a bull here long term. I do have a fairly good accumulation of this. We're sitting right at the POC here. What did I do here? I think I drew it from this low just over. Yeah, I'll do it again just so we can see it. I think that's all I did was do this. Yep, I did, right? So we're right to the POC. So here's where people agree on the value. Okay, can we get an Elliott count here? Well, this is anyone's guesstimate. It's not corrective. That's corrective. That's the let's see how we did up here, just out of curiosity. Do I have to say anything? Right? Probably not. Okay, right. So XAB, are we done here? Well, this would be a little unusual, right? So typically you look for it to sweep the W, come down lower. I've got an order block down here, edge of this value area from this low going forward. If I get an opportunity to buy it down here, yeah, I'll add to it. You can do the same thing, just thinking about, okay, well, where would accumulation take place? Just using that first little swing, you might be a little bit more optimistic. Say anything down here, just look at it. Let's reset that. From this low, actually, let's do it this way. Let's change that. Let's do it from here going forward. Does it change much? Well, here's our POC now. Interesting. Right at the algo target. How good is that algo target? Well, we know that an algo is going to stay short until it gets there. I think what I had done, I was just trying to zoom in on it. There we go. Leading diag 2, 3, kind of falls apart over here. So, Elliott's not perfect. Don't expect it to be. Eventually, there'll be a count here we can make sense of. But as it is right now, I've got a dominant low. I've got a dominant high. So all of this internal action is just, indeed that, just internal swing structure. Here's where we confirm the bull, and we're going higher. Down here's the change of character where it looks like, oh, bull is changing. So we don't want to see that break. Again, this is me just drawing this in here. Down here around the POC. If we're coming down, because the golden zone to the 50, right? Oh yeah, no algos at all. Okay, so something down here would be very enticing. If we need to come down, I don't know that we do. But if we're going to drift lower, what are we doing here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be done right there, actually. Let's go to a 4-hour. It's kind of ugly. The Ripple is prone to these, right? Because it's so news driven, right? You get just a liquidation wick, and then it recovers. These huge wicks, kind of Ripple's. Well, much of crypto is notorious for that. But Ripple, you'd think with the size and the volume that's traded here, you wouldn't see it so much. But there they are. Right? Those are. I would be very cautious about trading Ripple in anything other than the spot, right? These things are liquidity grabbers, right? They'll hurt you. Okay, I think that's all I got. I'm ahead one more here. Hang on a sec. Render, I still like here very much, right? So we just tagged the 38. You see this beautiful channel we have. I know there's a lot on there. Let me get some of the market structure off. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 1, ABC. There's a 2. There's a 3. Looks a lot like Bitcoin, actually. Where you got a mysterious 2 here. Is it here? Look where we are for the 4. Now that's me drawing that in. Well, what I was trying to emphasize there was this is unmitigated order flow, right? So bullish order flow, so it's untapped. This here, let's do it this way. This swing lower, right? You can see here we haven't tapped into any of this yet before it launched up. So if we're coming back down here right to the edge of it, now we could go a little lower, but right now that looks like an area to be paying attention. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now note this, right? This is swing high. Is I pull from the low here to the proposed 1 to the 2. That's, if I get it right on there. Clears the 100 by a tick again. It's not random, I promise you that. 3 ABC, it looks like ETH. Looks like Bitcoin, right? This is the time where you got to be nibbling. Well, I shouldn't say got to be, pardon me. You got to make your own decision there. This is where I start to look to add. Gently, right? You don't need to go balls deep right off the bat, right? But maybe a little here on the assumption here, can I get it a little bit lower? I'd like it all the way to the 50. Well, a 4 in general, that's you don't really want a deeper 4 than that, right? Then we're threatening the 1, and you're less likely to get a good 5 if we go that deep. We want that trend to start to kick again. What I got below? I got a CCI color-coded OBV, right? So you'd like to see the little buying come back in there and get that OBV back above the moving average here. If I can get this up here, right? So that's a 20-period CCI, which is just momentum. It's actually, I'm a fan of the CCI. Okay, so here's the 3. So we get the big push here. Here's the 3 of this leg here, of this impulse. We get a 1, 2. Looks like that would be 3, 4, 5 of the 3. So here's your peak of the 3, A, B, C into the 4. Don't wait till it's obvious. That's what retail does. You don't need much. Just a little kick, right? If you prefer to trade the retrace, let it come down, stop under the low. 3, 4, 5. So we can anticipate, right? That's very different than what we know is going to happen, but we can certainly, given that technical analysis, right, that Elliott count here, would suggest, right? It's all it does, right? It's all we're ever doing is suggesting the potential for that Elliott wave to complete. 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Pretty straightforward. Okay, I had one more over here I wanted to show you. Oh, hang on, I gotta find it. There it is. I've had a number of people requesting a look at Binance Coin. Now it's annoying, right, for us in the U.S., right? We can't jump on Binance and trade it, but it's hard to miss the Elliott count here. Boom, 3. It looks like 1, 2, right? We don't want to try and connect all of this. So the idea of putting the 3 and the 4 here is just too far. But it plays pretty nicely from here. 1, 2, 3. Now we've got a clear invalidation point here. Doesn't look like it's done though. It doesn't look like this part of the correction is over. So this looks like it's impulsive on the way down. So I'd be anticipating A, B, another push down here, try and get the 4. You've got an order block here. Demand here before it goes up. Oh, do I have them on there? I don't. Let me get the. So we've tapped into this, so you can see what's happening here, right? We've come down here and tapped into this imbalance here to try and mitigate that, which they have done. Right, that's enough, right? Well, ideally you get to the 50 of it here, but you've tapped, right? So it's not version. So A, B, C is what I'd be looking for here. It seems like a reasonable technical summation, right? Because is this, are we gonna correct the whole thing, all of this right here, given that relative to the 2? Anything's possible, but this seems unlikely. We're going to correct that quickly. So the 3 into the 38, you got a pretty good order block here, right? This big push before we go down, right? So that's clearly that's not retail doing that, right? So then we go up here, we tap here. So I should make that thicker. Got kind of squished. Okay, so we're going to correct. Is this right? Let's see what we're comparing it to. This, right? We're going to correct that. No, I think not. Emphasis, think not. Now, if we start to go up, here's what retail does. Retailer goes, oh, it's going, right? We'll go right. Not that I don't mean to be a smart ass, but this is very typically what happens here. Is it's too early, right? They don't have a sense of proportion. Again, I'm not saying that this is what's coming. It's just that's what's more common, that this is not long enough, right, to correct, right, to compare to that. So looking for we can have a triangle here, but it has to take more time, right? That doesn't balance out, right? And you can just do this, right? You can see like, oh, well, we coming that far? Well, we could, right? We could stay up here and we could just do the midline and do it as a triangle. We could go deeper, but here's the invalidation point. So there's the algo sitting right there. If, now we don't have this yet, but you could see a clear path. We'd come down to this here, order block, some high volume, up we go for the 5, and then we complete the 5. right here relative to this. Now, what's interesting about Binance Coin, if this completes here, let's call it it wouldn't matter whether it's a 1 or a 3. Well, here let's go out to this is very bullish, right? So if this, come back here, right? It almost well, let's just call this 1, 2. If this is 1, 2, and then this is 3, and this is 4, I think there's a pretty good reason, pretty good case to be made that this is not likely to be 5, right? This is likely to be 1 of 5. So if this completes, then you forecast, right? We have to forecast something like this to come down, and then we go into the big push, right? So this would be we complete the impulse here. Here's the correction. It's shallow as the correction. Now this could be 5. That could be the top. I mean, it's grand. Could do it. Let's look at it on the weekly here before, geez, I'm trying to get off here. And now I'm looking at this going, Well, that's a high class problem. If we get from here, where we are from 400, we've basically doubled your money. If indeed, right? I don't know, we don't have this yet, but we can buy it down here in this range here in the low 400s and get that last launch up here. If we start coming down for a retrace, well, we got two locations we'd be looking for. One would be from this low, right? If assuming, right, again, I don't have this, we complete the impulse, well, we'd be looking for something here between the 50 and the golden zone for a potential that this is 1, 2 of the next leg higher. We're getting pretty crazy here, but crazy happens all the time. Look at the market today. Okay, guys, there you go. That's all I got today. Hopefully you get a few nuggets, a few ideas, a few things to hit your watch list, a few ideas about how you can approach things technically, and then just a reminder, you must know where Al is at all times. Okay, guys, have a good weekend. See you next week.